Out of 78 pages, 22 are major arcana and 56 are minor arcana. 22 major arcana describe the laws of the universe and the forces involved in creation. Both laws and forces are supplied with streams of energy. These streams are intelligent and possess the knowledge and power that are obeyed by not only the man, but all of the things around him. There is a significant difference between the laws and forces executing the laws. The laws are executed in a strict sequence and only upon certain conditions. For instance, Arcana 9, the Hermit. This is the law of time. The law of time states that the time is a sequence of events. What does that mean? If we ask tarot cards about the time of an event and receive the Hermit for the answer, this means that the event will not happen right now or immediately, but why? Because every next event can only happen when the previous event happens. That is, the sun rises first and then sets. And if we ask tarot, when will the sun set? The Hermit Arcana will answer that the previous event has not happened yet, to be followed by what you're asking about. The Hermit tells us that the event you're asking about will happen only after the events that will follow the Hermit on the spread. Another example, the law of realization or the first arcana, the Bagato. Using the force of this law, aerial, astral, and mental images gain shape, and upon the conditions created by the seventh arcana, the Chariot, all these events that gain shape are pulled in and are realized in the real world. So you need to remember that the laws are activated in a certain sequence and only upon certain conditions. When laws are activated, we need to remember that not everything depends on us. The major arcana of tarot contain not only the forces of laws, but also the forces executing such laws. For instance, the forces of Arcana Death, the Tower, the Star, and some of the others. You need to remember that you can give orders to these forces. Action or lack of action depends on the person himself. An action can be stopped or activated by adjusting the system of tarot. We will cover this in details in one of the following lessons. And for now, you have to remember, 22 major tarot arcana include laws that are activated in a certain sequence and upon certain conditions, and forces executing such laws, the actions of which can be stopped or activated by the power of will, including through adjustment. 26 minor tarot arcana show us what physical shape the laws and executing forces may gain. That means that 56 minor arcana show how the 22 major arcana will demonstrate themselves in life. 56 minor arcana are present in 4 suits. There are staves, cups, swords, and coins. Different books call these suits differently, but that doesn't change the essence. Cups are ruled by the element of water. Let's agree upon picturing the upright cups like this, and reverse cups will be marked with an asterisk. Every stave arcana in the spread will be pictured like this, and the reverse stave arcana like this with an asterisk. Every sword arcana in the spread will be pictured like this, and the reverse sword arcana with an asterisk. Coins arcana will be written like this, and the reverse coins arcana with an asterisk. There are a lot of things written about the Celtic Cross spread with a number of examples. Unfortunately, not all the sources reveal the secrets of this ancient spread. This particular spread is used very often. It is valid in all cases, both when we know exactly what we need to know and when we fail to formulate the question properly. Let's explore the Celtic Cross spread in details. The goal of the spread is monitoring the motion along the line of fortune, deviation from the line of fortune, and the opportunity to get back to the line of fortune. Before we go on, I would like to give you the explanation of the line of fortune. Very often, we in our everyday life say, bad luck, it's not your fortune. Fortune is such a mysterious word. It often serves as an excuse for saying that not everything depends on us, and it's also an element of theoretical knowledge of tarot arcana. Assuming that a person is born at point A, let's call this point the point of birth, with its own coordinates, meaning the coordinates of your birthplace, which can be very important for astrologers, for creating a cosmogramma, for analyzing the character of your personality, type of thinking, your abilities and capacities. Meaning that at the point of birth A, your genetic system predefines your mental abilities and capacities and your future health. A person lives his life and passes away. We normally say dies. It would be more correct to say casts off the physical body. Let's mark this point B and call it the point of exit. A straight line connecting points A and B, the points of birth and the point of exit, is called the line of fortune. We say that while following the line of fortune, a person should get such and such profession, get married, divorce, give birth to so many children, reach such heights in his career, make such discoveries, understand this, this, and that. That means that the genetic program needs to be fulfilled and bring the results. So who sets this program? Likely the same power that sets the genes. The God, the divine principle, you can call it as you like. The genetic system is set through your mother and father who gave us birth. This seed that while passing along the line of fortune needs to spring, grow and bring the result. For realizing the built-in qualities, if a person is moving along the line of fortune without deviations, he will receive meetings, connections and lucky sets of events from the same power that formed his genetic programs, so that what is given in point A shall bear fruit. It's a well-known fact that the genetic system can even provide for an ability to calculate your lifespan. That's why, if you use your physical body correctly, you will have enough time to approach point B, having accomplished your program. But in real life, it's rarely that we see straight movement along the line of fortune. A person can move like this, or like that, or even like this. And the power that originally drew your line of fortune does not care how much time you will be roaming, searching for your truth, searching for the shortest path. What's important is that you find yourself in point B at the moment of exit. When a person accomplishes everything, comes to point B, his death or exit will be light and calm. This person will not be bothered by illnesses. He will go to sleep and, in his sleep, he will die peacefully. We call it a white death. If a deviation from the line of fortune is too extreme, and it's clear that we're not talking about completing the program, the life may end abruptly. We call it sudden death. If a person stops and moves back and forth and in circles and doesn't get back to the line of fortune and doesn't move on, the great death happens. It's also accompanied by the sickness of the physical body, but not as hard or incurable. In some cases, the great death comes suddenly. We call this a stop in development. A seed has sprung and grown but does not bear fruit. It consumes water, light, and doesn't bring any result. And the time comes to clean up the bad from weeds. If a person does not just deviate from the line of fortune, but moves backwards while crossing the lines of fortune of other people and forcing them to deviate from their programs, a black death comes. Even if a person is not mean and did not do anything wrong as it seems to us. I'm not even mentioning the persons who bring in devastation and destroy the genetically built-in programs of other people. Black death means severe illnesses and losses. Let's consider an example. A man came for a consultation. He experiences financial difficulties and his business is in a hard condition. He has an outstanding loan that is getting harder and harder to repay. He got an offer from a person who will repay the debt and invest into the business. So it seems like a good offer at first, but the client who came in for a consultation has a doubt both about the future partner and about the business. Does it make sense to partner up? What will happen to the business in this case? The results of each spread are written in the shape of the spread, so it will be convenient to interpret it. So in our example, we have a reversed death arcana. We put it as a word with an asterisk. Asterisk means that this is a reversed arcana. The second arcana is the Six of Swords reversed. We put it like this. Spades as a symbol of swords with an asterisk. The third arcana is a reversed devil. We put it as a word with an asterisk. The fourth arcana is the King of Coins. We put K for the King and clubs for coins. We have the Seven of Swords reversed, so we write it with an asterisk. The sixth arcana is the Four of Coins upright. The seventh arcana is the Seven of Coins reversed. The eighth arcana is the Three of Swords reversed. The ninth arcana is Pope upright or Hierophant upright. The 10th arcana is the Hangman reversed. It's arcana 12 and we put it with an asterisk. Interpreting the cards and remembering the intent of the Celtic Cross spread, we need to answer the question: would it be the right fortune of the client to accept the business proposal for partnership? The line of fortune itself in the Celtic Cross is represented with two cards, the first and the second. These two cards will actually show us if we're moving along the line of fortune or we have moved off the line, coming back or stumbling upon it, going in circles. In our case, the first arcana is death reversed. Normally, the major arcana death means an end to something. An end to a certain stage, process, or relationship. The activation of Death Arcana in business means that the business itself will not survive its existing life form. If the death is activated in the upright position, then you will have to reincorporate your business in order to save it. That is the first option if the business was successful. If there were troubles with the business in the past and it was never actually successful, then with Death Arcana activated, you have to either sell it or close it. Whereas, you have to avoid losses in each case. Losses will be inevitable, and your task is to minimize the losses. If Death Reversed Arcana is activated while seeking answers on business, it means that the death was activated significantly earlier, and now we're talking about running circles. The problems are piling up, and clearly, your actions do not lead to resolving such problems. Both Death Upright and Death Reversed, while answering questions on business, do not allow for much choice. The second card on 1 to 2 line is the Six of Swords reversed. Any six is a personal choice and a connection with the past or the future. Any six affects the time. It can either slow down the time as the Six of Staves, for example, or act as the time catalyst, as the Six of Coins. The Six of Swords upright is always a jolt of freedom. It's always a choice in favor of freedom. A person rejects his ties, something that hindered him, but unfortunately, in our case, he did not come to anything new. He did not receive anything new to replace the old. The Six of Swords reversed, in our case, is a jolt of freedom that is unwelcome, and the person returns to his cage. The choice that he made did not lead to any result. There is no connection with the future, and that's why he returns to the past. The Six of Swords reversed means a return or going back. So let's summarize the first and the second cards. Death reversed means running in circles. The Six of Swords reversed means going back. Of course, if we start talking about the line of fortune that is depicted by these two cards, we can say that the person cannot get back and cannot move further. He's milling about on one spot, going in circles, without coming back to his line of fortune and not going away from it. The third and the fourth cards of the Celtic Cross is something that crosses our line of fortune and diverts us from the line. Something that is meant to push us off the line of fortune and divert our path. This is a very serious signal for us. It shows what we should avoid, something we should not pursue. The third and the fourth cards form a cross-section. In our case, it's the Devil reversed and the King of Coins. It's exactly the offer of the King of Coins to our client. The devil is not the one who casts a hex or a curse. The devil is a tempter or a seducer. It's the one who places questions before us that we cannot answer due to the fact that we are not yet ready or simply unable to do that. Because every choice that the devil suggests is a wrong choice. We often play the role of a devil in our lives without even knowing it. For example, when we ask our child about who he loves more, his father or his mother. In this case, we act as a devil. Devil upright is always fate, and the responsibility lies on the one seducing, not on the one making choice. In our case, we deal with devil reversed arcana, which means that the choice is not fatal. We are capable to differentiate the right from wrong, we are capable of making the right choice, and we should make it. The devil reversed means deceit. And you should not treat the King of Coins as a devil. It's simply a very sly person, and his offer is not fortunate for our client. And he just wants to get some share of our client's business. And there are, of course, reasons for doubts here for our client. Almost the same thing we can read from the Seven of Swords reversed, which lies in the past. This card is number 5. This is recent past. Not always, but very often in the Celtic Cross, this card holds the meaning of the happening events. Any 7 that is present in tarot spread means a change that happened due to something. The 7 of Staves, for example, is a change as a result of a conversation. The 7 of Coins is a change as a result of some minor sequential actions that happen with regards to the material world. The 7 of Swords means changes that happen due to clarified events and the revelation of truth. We call it the Epiphany. The 7 of Swords reversed means the collision with a force larger than the one we can resist. It's possible that the client has faced some officials or authorities, maybe the Justice Department or a tax inspection, or it could be a conflict with a larger business. This cannot exclude the presence of the King of Coins on the other side of the barricades in the past. However, it doesn't prove it either. It's just one of the versions that needs to be verified by a slightly different spread. It's the nearest future that has already been formed, that we cannot change, and if it's negative, then we can at least get ready for it. Any 4 is a window. It's a window that we can restore connection with, a window that gives us a chance. It's a slight widening of our path. The Four of Coins upright is a window into the material world, an open window that we can call stability. The period of the Four of Coins is not long, about 10 to 12 days. It will be a good and lucky time. You will be able to accomplish a lot, so there's enough time to fix things. And this lucky period will happen independently, regardless the decision of our client. And we warn our client that he has such an open window in the nearest future. The 7th and the 8th cards represent the balance. The 7th card is the attitude of the client to what is happening, his understanding of the reality and the situation. And the 8th card is the attitude of other people involved in it or the view of outsiders on the situation. Based on these cards, we can realize how subjective the opinion of the client is. Is it a correct opinion? Does the client have a clear picture about what's going on? Because in some cases things appear differently from the outside. This person may be too much subjective in his judgment. In our case, the 7th card is the 7 of Coins reversed. We also talked about 7s already. 7s always mean changes. Coins are very close to material subjects. The 7 of Coins is the change as a result of a larger number of subsequent events that we can call troubles. But we are talking about material grounded events, rather successful. And the 7 of Coins reversed tells us that there is no change as such, because the person is indecisive and he misses on his opportunities and chances. Now we realize that our client is in doubt and is indecisive. The 8th card is the 3 of Swords, shows us the surrounding people that are not in doubt at all. Any 3 in upright means a made decision, a decision not made in reverse. The 3 of Swords upright is a wrongful decision. We call it a mistake. That deals with the fact that the decision-making of this person is strictly subjective. In our case, the 3 of Swords is reversed. The decision was not made. In this case, the missing decision is a huge mistake. So the people from the outside see the behavior and the doubts of our client as a serious mistake. The couple of cards 3 and 4, the King of Coins and the Devil reversed, give us a solid basis for interpreting this spread in terms of whether the offer to our client is along with his fortune. But if the King of Coins and the Devil reversed were along line 1 to 2, I would say that it made sense to accept the offer. However, you should be very careful since the King of Coins is rather sly. So you have to be careful with the paperwork and the contracts, and agree upon all the conditions for entering the business beforehand. But in our case, there is no doubt. 3 and 4 give a completely different balance of forces. As we see, the 9th card is the plans and hopes of our client, the Pope Arcana or Hierophant. It tells us that our client is planning to accept the offer of the King of Coins, though he is doubtful about it. But the result will be Hanged Man reversed. It's the 10th card, the final result, if the plans of the 9th card are realized. The 10th card, the Hanged Man reversed, means needless sacrifices. Alas, the business will not be saved by this offer. The nearest future of the 6th card in our spread cannot be changed, and the 6th card shows the future that has already been formed. It will happen in the nearest time, and the 10th card's future can be changed by changing the plans of the 9th card. In this spread, everything is just so obvious and the advice is clear. The offer will not save the business. Let's move on to the next example. A woman of 40 years old came for a consultation. She's concerned about the relationship with 2 of her sisters that worsened after her parents died. We are not talking here about the division of inheritance. However, this matter is still not resolved as of the moment of the consultation. Simply, there's no understanding between the people who rather should stick together after the death of their parents. And the woman who came for advice did not have a desire to look for common grounds with her sisters. If we were talking only about sharing the inheritance, I would choose another spread. And the breach of relationship with relatives can have a serious reflection on the line of fortune, just like a move, a change of work, or marriage, divorce, birth of children, or long trips. These are all parts of our destiny. So let's take a look at this example. The first card of the spread is the Lover's upright. The second card is Six of Coins upright. The third card is the Queen of Coins reversed. The fourth card is the Queen of Staves reversed. The fifth card of the past is Five of Swords upright. The sixth card of the near future is the Four of Swords upright. The seventh card, the attitude of the person herself to the situation, is the Nine of Staves upright. The eighth card, the attitude of the surrounding people to the situation, the Fool reversed. The ninth card, the nearest plans, the Ace of Staves upright. The spread is completed by the World Arcana. The first and the second card show us that the line of fortune is not affected. By making her choice, the Lover's card, the woman comes to a chilling feeling in her soul, the Six of Coins. The person is greedy on the level of expressing her feelings. The Six is the choice with regards to material things, but not feelings. The person will be generous on the material level, but greedy on the emotional level. Both cards on the line of fortune, the Lovers, and the Six of Coins are upright. However, the Six of Coins, meaning the cold relations with the sisters, is not completely normal. We still see no deviation from the line of fortune. But the Queen of Coins and the Queen of Staves reversed are the sisters that sit along 3 to 4 line, right on the cross, or, as we say, are rejected by the fate of the person. No matter how good the relationship was between the women, we can say about the two sisters that do not walk along with the client. They simply cross her line of fortune as some strangers. This is a clear definition of that the client has a reason for not talking to them. It looks like the self-preservation instinct kicks in. The Five of Swords in the past means deep emotional distress and suffering that contributed to the spiritual growth, because all fives mean the motion along the spiral of spiritual development. Upright cards mean the spiral going up, and reverse means spiral going down. The spiritual growth in the inner field through suffering, through distress. And if we consider that the parents died not so long ago, this is quite understandable. The nearest future that has already been formed and cannot be avoided is the Four of Swords. Any four is a window, as I already mentioned. If the four is upright, then the window is open, and if it's reversed, the window is closed. The swords are the inner world of a person, and the Four of Swords is an open window into your own inner world. We interpret it as self-isolation. The troubles in the past lead to suffering, but the process is unfinished and the internal work continues. The outside world interferes and the person isolates. The Four of Swords is often interpreted as loneliness. It is sometimes very necessary to work on yourself, but sometimes this process lingers and leads to a very serious depression. The seventh card of the spread is the Nine of Staves. It shows how the person herself understands the situation. Any nine is an end of one stage and the beginning of the next stage. The nine upright means the end of a stage without time fractures. Everything was on time, started on time, and ended on time. Staves mean the environment, the society, the surrounding people. The Nine of Staves is the end of relations with someone. We call it the card of disappearance. A part of society vanishes. In our case, we are obviously talking about the sisters. The attitude of our client is clear. She feels like these people disappear from her life. But the eighth card offers us the opinion of the people who participate in the events or see the situation from the outside. I think we are talking about the opinion of sisters here. They see the situation as stupid. The full reverse means nonsense. The cards lie down correctly and very logically. The suffering that came in from the past with the death of parents. At the moment, we have self-isolation. The person still worries about it and transforms internally. The Nine of Staves is the end of the stage that may mean parting with some closely related people, which became strangers once of a sudden. The cards of Tarot Arcana very rarely lie down so that you cannot explain them. If you fail to get a picture out of what you see, it means that either you don't know the theory of cards or simply rely on their meaning. During interpreting, it's always important to understand what the whole spread means. You need to have a clear meaning of each card and know the theory of cards. The fact that 7 means change is its theory, and that the 7 of Swords upright means the change as a result of clarification and understanding is the interpreting of the card. When interpreting any spread, the meaning of a card in this place and the theory of this card is always primary, and the meaning of the arcana will be secondary. The 9th card is the hopes and the plans of our client. In our case, it's the Ace of Staves. The Ace always means the egg as a symbol of beginning, the birth of something new. Staves mean the society, the career, or an idea that this woman has. The Ace of Staves is the beginning of some project. The world, topping our rather harmonic spread, is basically it. It seems that our client had the right notion. Something new in her life will come when she's over with the past. Instinctively, she feels like the two sisters pull her somewhere aside from the line of fortune, away from her true wishes, her plans, so she makes the right and timely decision to finish the stage with some emotional distress, but still harmoniously. And now we will take a look at our next example. Please notice that the Celtic Cross spread does not serve for advising. It's not about advice. It just clears up the situation and shows all the aspects of the placed question, viewing it from all the perspectives, and then it's up to you to make a decision. A woman reported for a consultation. She's 47 years old. Her husband is often away from home for 2 to 3 months due to his work. This lasted for several years. And just recently, her friends told her that her husband cheated on her. She believes them and she wants to clarify the fact of betrayal. So she came to me to confirm or refute the fact of betrayal. The first card is the Queen of Coins upright in the spread. The second is the King of Swords upright. The third is the Knight of Staves reversed. We put it with an asterisk. The fourth card is the Two of Cups reversed. Don't forget the asterisk. The fifth card is the Seven of Swords. The sixth card is the Lovers reversed. The seventh card is the Knight of Cups reversed. The eighth card is the Ten of Staves upright. The ninth card is the Chariot. And the 10th card that completes the spread is the Court reversed. So we have the Queen of Coins and the King of Swords on the line of fortune, a man and a woman. The Queen is the client and the King is her husband. We cannot interpret it differently because if the Queen of Coins was the husband's lover, then she couldn't be on the line of fortune for our client. She would appear on 3 to 4 line in the spread. Having these two cards on 1 to 2 line, we can only say that the couple is not really harmonious, since it's represented by 2 different suits. It tells us that they're very different in terms of character and temper. Probably there are some problems in the intimate relations, but this subject needs a special consideration with a different spread. So far, we will talk about something that we were asked about. The relationship of my client with her husband is along the line of fortune. On 3 to 4 line, we have the Knight of Staves reversed and the Two of Cups reversed. Any knight means a seat. The Nine of Staves means the seed of moving or motion. The Knight of Staves reversed we call the seed of breakup. The 2 means an impulse of 2 forces acting in different directions or in the same direction. two energy impulses. The Two of Cups means two impulses directed towards each other. But the Two of Cups reversed is the false motion towards each other. We call it deception and lies. Now we put these cards together, the Knight of Staves reversed and the Two of Cups reversed. We have the seed of breakup due to deception and lies, or the seed of breakup because of the deception and lies. Look at how interesting the crossing looks like. The relationship between the man and the woman are fortunate. And the fracture due to deception, or because of the deception, deflects us from the line of fortune. The card of the past is the Seven of Swords upright. Any seven means changes, and we already talked about this card today. The Seven of Swords means the change as the result of some clarification of circumstances and understanding of some truth. We call it clearance, epiphany, clarification of circumstances. The clarification of events of the Seven of Swords are never based on lies. That's why the friends were likely correct. The betrayal obviously exists. And let's consider the sixth card of the near future, the Lover's reverse. And let me tell you a little bit about the theory behind the Lover's arcana. The Lovers mean the conscientious, informed choice of a person and also the motion, the step that we take after we make the decision. All sixes in all spreads are also choices, but the Lovers as a major arcana stands for a choice or a step that really affects our future, our spiritual level, not the everyday life of a regular six. The six affects the time of a person. It can slow down the time or act as a time catalyst, but it doesn't affect the spiritual level of development. Take a look at this picture. It shows what's going on with a person when he goes through choice and makes a decision in accordance with the Lover's arcana. Let's imagine that a person is located on the lowest level and he needs to make the right choice when the Lover's arcana activates. The arcana is upright and the right step is made, which leads to the right choice. As a result, the person goes one step up. The test is passed. Next time there is another step, another right choice, and another stair up. That means new choice and the Lover's arcana activated in reverse, and the person decided differently. So he goes down, not just one step down, but all the way to the ground zero, to the initial position. So we say the Lover's arcana reversed means falling down. Why so cruel? The Lover's upright is just one stair up, and the Lover's reversed is falling down to zero. Why only one stair up and falling down all the way? Because all of what happens with the Lover's arcana has been recognized, understood, and studied in the past. It's like the final exam after a range of tests. The Pope arcana is another thing. This arcana stands for studying new material, the learning process. We learn to merge contradictions, and the Lovers stand for the already studied familiar material which just needs to be properly executed. The Lover's reverse, it's not just an incorrect choice, it's the rejection of the situation. The seventh card, the Knight of Cups reversed. A knight means a seed, as we already mentioned, and the cups activate the soul, the emotions. The Knight of Cups reversed means a seed of flattery and deception. The client sees it just like that, and remember, she wants to go to see things for herself. The eighth card, the Ten of Staves. It shows how people see the situation from the outside. The 10 stands for a change. The staves mean the society, and the theory of the 10th of staves tells us about the attitude to life as to a game or to a question. It's like a lottery that you either can win or lose. What do we mean by life is a game? It's the attitude to life as to an opportunity where you can win or lose, but with a readiness to accept both gain or loss by reconciling with both beforehand. Besides, what does our client consider as gain in her situation? Catching her husband together with his lover? Is she ready to lose her husband or friends who told her about the situation? There are a lot of questions, and the answers will be important for you as well, because it's up to you to decide what to say and what not to say, how to say it while answering the post question. And you will be responsible for what is going to happen after your consultation. The ninth card is hopes and plans, the Chariot. Yes, our client is about to go to settle the situation, and seeing the card in the upright position, she will win. The question is, what is that she will win? The spread is completed by Arcana Court reverse. Let's get back to the theory again. The court always tells us about the width of the line of fortune that we currently follow. Court upright, the Arcana means the expansion of the line, or we say the expansion of the path or the karmic corridor. If there was a deviation earlier, court upright will mean coming back to the line of fortune. In case of deviation and court reversed, the path will sharply narrow down. We say narrowing of the karmic corridor. The court reversed brings with it a range of interconnected subsequent events that have a serious impact on the person's life and limit the person's choices. It makes the person move in a set direction. The width of the karmic corridor or the line of fortune has a very important meaning with adjustments. For instance, a person is charged and he is under an investigation. If the corridor's width allows for it, we say court upright, then we can help adjust the situation. First, the investigator will be replaced, then a whole range of questionable evidence will appear, then a retrial is possible, leading to a probation. This means solving the situation stage by stage by postponing the decisions with maximum alleviation of the situation. The court reversed means a narrow corridor. We cannot move right or left. Adjustments normally have almost zero results. It's sort of prohibition for adjustments. You cannot help the client, and you yourself may end up in a bad situation, because no one is allowed to violate the law. The court reversed is a prohibition for adjustment because the karmic corridor is too narrow. That's why the situation with the 10th card, court reversed, does not look good. It's by far more complicated than justice reversed. Of course, for our client, the court reversed does not mean that she's going to jail. Of course not. The court reversed in our case just tells us that there will be a range of negative events based on the principle that misfortune does not come alone. And stopping this process is almost impossible until it ends. It's okay if it leads to divorce or financial loss, but what if it suddenly leads to something serious, like illness? The corridor is very narrow. You would want to change your decision, but there is no room for it. The freedom of choice will be lost. So the bottom line is the client is planning a trip. She will win by confirming the fact of betrayal. She will have to react somehow. But will she like her price? This is where the wrong choice leads, and the person simply doesn't want to understand. A trip which will break her fate, resulting in a narrow karmic corridor and unclear future. The 9th card is just plans. If we change the plans, we will change the result. It's up to you to decide on what and how to tell your client. You're a professional and you will decide and assume the responsibility. If your consultation is in a form of a conversation and the client trusts you, is willing to answer your additional questions, you will always have an opportunity to explain to him what's going on in his life. By getting a clear notion of himself and his life, the client will always be able to make his own decision. And even if this work takes several hours, you will still be able to call yourself a master. If a client comes not for a consultation, but for fortune telling, just like to a granny in a village, and ask you something like, try guessing what kind of pain I had yesterday, and what will hurt tomorrow. It's better if you refuse to work with such client. It's my personal subjective opinion. Your opinion may be absolutely different. Then you don't probably need my lessons, and you're a very good professional.